What's up, you guys? Welcome to today's video. As you can tell by the title, I have a prison story for you. A prison story of a time where I witnessed the planning and failed execution of drug smuggling in prison. For those new to my channel, hi, my name is Jess. I'm a recovering addict who served time in prison, and my entire crazy life story is in the description box down below. If you want to follow me on any other social media platform, TikTok, we just hit 600K on TikTok, Instagram, Patreon, that's $2. It's only ever going to be $2. All of that is linked in the description box down below, as well as my vlog channel. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Where to begin this tale of the failed drug smuggling operation? I'm so weird. So basically in prison, it is very important that you mind your own business while simultaneously we're all bored and in each other's business. So it makes absolutely no sense, but inmates are people watchers. We're watching everything. You know, we don't have a lot of stimulation. There's not a lot of options on TV that you can watch, not a lot of books to read. I mean, there's books, but you know, we're bored is what I'm trying to tell you. And if there is drama or if there is something going down, we're all watching. We are living in close proximity to one another. There's 50 women in an open dorm. If it's a closed tier, there might be more. Every prison's different, every dorm is different, what have you. But you're living in close proximity with a lot of other people that have a lot of different personalities. And it's not a good time. 0 out of 10 on Yelp. Anyway, a girl that I was living in a dorm with, she was getting ready to go back to county jail for some court hearing. And her girlfriend were saying goodbye to each other in the bathroom. Now, that's not uncommon. We go to the bathroom for privacy because it's outside of the views of the camera for the most part. It's outside of the views of the camera. So they're in the bathroom and they're like in there for a minute, and I kind of noticed that, but I really wasn't paying any attention to it because I don't care. You know, I was in the day room and they kind of like chuckled and walked off to the bathroom. Just like, cool. It didn't affect me, didn't bother me at all. The only reason why it's important, I will tell you in a second. So she goes off to county jail. They come and they transport her. Now, just to give you guys some information on when this happens, typically, and now every place is different, so do not quote me, but typically, if you go to court from a prison back to a county jail, you pack up all your stuff, they hold it for you in intake, and then when you get back, you have a different housing assignment or a different bunk assignment. They don't hold your bed for you, if that makes sense. And I can't explain it other than that, but during the course of the time that that inmate is gone to court, whether it's a week or two, we might get new intakes in, and the first available bed is just the bed that you get. And it doesn't make any sense, but they don't hold your bed for you. It's also a nerve-wracking time for an inmate because we have contraband probably, and if we're packing up all our stuff and sealing it in a bag or whatever the prison does, it makes us nervous that there's contraband in that bag, so we hand it off to someone else that is not going to court. And that is probably what was happening in this bathroom situation. Maybe not. We'll get there in a second. So now it is time for the girl that went to court to come back to prison. Now, this took place in a medium security prison. It's a smaller prison. There was only like 4 or 5 dorms. One of them was a work release dorm. So it's a small prison. And all of the people that come through new intake or come back to court always come through this one corridor that was right outside of our dorm, so we could see them. There's a whole like wall of windows, and then the hallway, and then another dorm. So fun fact, we were not allowed to talk to the women in the other dorm like via the window. So like, I love you, go to rec, if you know, you know. So we couldn't talk or communicate across the windows to women in the other dorms, which made no sense either. Stupid prison rule. So she comes back from court. Now, I have to pause to give you some backstory. Her girlfriend, who was in my dorm, was pacing and was nervous and was acting super weird, you know? And I took notice of that because you're acting out of character, you know, but she's pacing back and forth. She's waiting for someone to come in. I think she might have, you know, heard over the radio that new intakes were back or whatever, you know. They had asked for an officer to go to Sallyport to have the new intakes, and also her girlfriend changed out. So she must have heard that over the radio because I didn't know that they were coming through. And she's pacing. She's pacing by those windows to just wait to see her girlfriend come back through that corridor, but she's nervous. It's not like, oh yay, she's back. I'm excited that she's back. I've missed her. It's been 2 weeks, which feels like an eternity in prison. This was a different kind of energy. you know? And if you know, you know. I can't explain that differently, but I live with this girl. I see her every day. She's nervous. She's biting her nails and she's pacing like a meerkat, you know what I mean? Like, whoo. And I'm like, what the fuck? What is going on? I'm just gonna read my book over here. Like, you can't say anything. You know, you don't want to insert yourself in like other people's problems or drama, but at the same time, what is going on? I'm bored. What have we done? And they finally bring all of them through that corridor, and they're standing in the hallway, and this girl looks at her girlfriend in the hallway, and her girlfriend is almost in tears. Her head is down and she's handcuffed, and the other inmates are not handcuffed. And I'm like, oh shit, what'd she do? And they're trying to communicate with each other, but the girl that just went to court is in handcuffs in the hallway. You know, she's like, what? And she starts shaking her head no. The guards are in the hallway and they're directing the new intakes on where to go. Like, you're in that dorm, you go over there, you know, some came in our unit. And the girl that went to court eventually is by herself with 2 guards standing in the hallway. And they had this little desk in the hallway, very small prison. And she's being told not to talk, not to communicate, you know, and that's just kind of how it is. Eventually they see that the girl in, you know, my dorm is kind of trying to talk to her and like see what's going on. So they take the inmate that went to court and they turn her around facing the wall. So she could not even look at this girl that is in my dorm. And I'm like, I already know. I'm not new. You know, I know what just happened. So she stands there and she waits, and eventually the girl that had gone to court was escorted to segregation. Now, this is a huge deal in this medium security prison, because if you get in trouble and you have to go to segregation for a fight or for, you know, any serious disciplinary, there are minor disciplinaries where you just lose your privileges, like phone, commissary, visitation. Then there are major disciplinaries or major tickets, and major tickets, if you received one in this medium security prison, you will get sent back to the maximum security prison. And so we knew that that was what was going to happen. If they have you cuffed up with a 2-guard escort and you're going to seg, that means you're getting transferred out of this facility. So this girl starts crying and everyone's like trying to be like, what happened? What happened? And she's not talking, right? Eventually, another guard comes in and asks her if she had known what was going on with this other inmate. She's like, no, what do you mean? Apparently, they had a plan for this girl to smuggle in dope from the street. I guess someone was going to meet her at this county jail. They were gonna have a visit, pass it off, or she was gonna get it somehow from the county jail and bring it up to the prison. That is a serious charge, okay? That is a serious charge. When you do that, that's introduction of contraband into a state facility, and that's a big deal. But now that I'm seeing this go down, I'm remembering when she went to court, they were talking in the bathroom for a long time, and it wasn't like a regular goodbye. They were like plotting, you know, so it was a little sketch when she was leaving to court. And she used the phone a lot before she went to court. I don't remember that because I'm minding my own business. I genuinely didn't remember that girl using the phone a lot. Other girls started talking about it because now we all know that she tried to bring dope in. Now we're like, oh, she was on the phone every single day. And I'm like, why would you do that on the phone? All those phone calls are recorded, you know? So I don't know if they like intercepted that information on the phone and then caught her when she was coming back through. I don't know if someone tipped her off or if they just noticed when they were doing the strip search. And I did an entire video on strip searching, and I will leave it on the card up here. But this is a very common occurrence in prison. People are constantly trying to do whatever they can to get drugs brought in from the street, or trying to get guards to bring in drugs, which I have seen. They're trying to get, you know, just get away with small things, minor things. Maybe it's a pen, maybe it's heroin. And I was part of that too. So when I say we, I also mean me. I was part of that too. When I was first getting locked up, I chased dope, and I was aggressive and I was violent, and I didn't care about changing my life because I was angry and addicted, broken, and I didn't think I could change my life. But that's just prison life, you know? People are constantly trying to get away with things. And I do want to say here, before I forget, that the prison will drug test you anytime they want to. Just like they can strip search you anytime they want to, they can also drug test you anytime they want to. They do it by, you know, sometimes it's random, sometimes you just get called out to get drug tested, sometimes they do it by whole dorms. Now, in this situation, That was an isolated incident of that girl trying to bring drugs in, and they were confiscated and she was put in solitary confinement. So you would think like there's no need to drug test everyone, but they also had 6 new intakes that day. And what if they missed something? So a couple days go by, we think the drama's over, we think everything's fine, you know, she's in seg, her girlfriend's a mess, her girlfriend's crying and upset and missing her girlfriend, blah, blah, blah. But we think it's over, right? Another one bites the dust. But no, 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 we're all getting drug tested. And I called that as soon as I, you know, realized what had been going on. And I told one of the girls that I hung out with, she was a first timer, a very short timer, only having to do 3 or 4 months in prison. And I told her like, watch them drug test us. And she's like, what? They wouldn't do that, right? Like I can't pee in front of people. And I'm like, can't pee in front of people. Good luck, because if you don't pee, you go to the hole. And sure enough, a few days go by and the whole unit is drug tested. And that was something that I had been used to since I was 14 years old on probation. You know, you have to pee in front of another human being, and that's the glamorous life of going to prison. Sarcasm, it's not glamorous. Making a joke. I'm gonna end today's video here. You would think that there would not be drugs in maximum security prisons or medium security prisons, the most secured places, right? But drugs find a way, because if you want something bad enough, you'll find a way. As always, I love you guys. Stay safe, stay sober, whatever that looks like to you, because there is no wrong way to recover. And I'll see you guys in my next one.